there, Pokemon trainers and Pokemon masters. What's new, Pikachu? You got the time, Mr. Mime? How's stuff, Jigglypuff? Brass tacks, Snorlax. Welcome to yet another episode of Leaving Pallet Town, a Pokemon podcast. I'm Anthony Curmudgeon, and I'm here to make sure your Poke knowledge is up to snuff. We've put together a terrific episode for you, and I'm tickled by how it all turned out. The three Pokemon are tip to tail some of the best to do it. It's a terrific episode, and I think you're really going to like it. But enough of me talking silliness. Let's get to me talking Pokemon. Our first Pokemon is Squirtle. Squirtle is a tiny turtle Pokemon who stands at 1 foot tall and only weighs 20 pounds soaking wet, which is a little joke because Squirtle is a water-type Pokemon. Squirtle usually walks on 2 legs, but has been observed running on all 4s. It looks very similar in nature to a typical turtle, but it does have a very long, squirrel-like tail that curls inward on itself, like a fiddleneck, or a fern, or a fiddleneck fern. Squirtle's body is encased in a tough shell that forms and hardens after birth. This shell is a useful tool. Squirtle can withdraw into the shell for protection or sleeping. The grooved, rounded shape helps to reduce water resistance, allowing Squirtle to swim at very high speeds. Squirtle is a very common first starter Pokemon, and so is not often encountered in the wild, but research has proven that Squirtles prefer small ponds and lakes as their home. Eventually, Squirtle evolves into Wartortle, and Wartortle ultimately evolves into Blastoise. I'm sure you've deduced our next Pokemon is Wartortle. Wartortle is a water-type Pokemon that will evolve from Squirtle starting at level 16. A turtle Pokemon, it has large claws and fangs. It is now 3 feet tall and weighs 50 pounds. Much larger than Squirtle, and has now grown feather-like ears covered in pale blue fur on each side of its head. Its tail is now thick and wavy, and also covered in light blue fur. Wartortle's tail is now so bushy that it cannot be fully withdrawn into the shell. Its tail fur will darken as it ages. Wartortle's tail symbolizes long life and good luck. Older adults, like grandparents, are very fond of Wartortle for this reason. And I must say, the phrase Wartortle's tail is quite a tongue twister, and I would challenge you to say it 5 times fast. Because it has a larger shell than Squirtle, Wartortle finds keeping its balance much easier in the water. Wartortle will move its furry ears and tail as both rudders and balancing rods to maintain balance while it moves through the water at speeds that could match a very fast boat. Now, who do you think the third Pokemon is? If you said Kangaskhan, you are incorrect. But if you said Blastoise, then you are correct. Our third and final Pokemon of the episode is Blastoise. Blastoise will evolve from Wartortle at level 36. Blastoise is much larger than its 2 previous forms, now standing 5 feet tall and weighing in at 190 pounds. Blastoise stands and walks on its 2 back legs, and unlike the 2 previous forms, Blastoise has a short stub of a tail. Its face now looks stubby and fanged like a bulldog, and the claws on its hands and feet are sharper and stouter. Blastoise also has a claw on the back of each heel. Its shell has grown larger and heavier, and two powerful water cannons sit at the top of the shell, over Blastoise's shoulders. These cannons can be extended or withdrawn and enable Blastoise to use high-powered water attacks like Hydro Pump and Wave Crash. Blastoise can produce water blasts so powerful that they pierce steel and concrete. It can direct the blasts behind itself to be used for high-speed charges and propelling itself in the air. The speed of Blastoise's charge is similar to the force of a rocket. Blastoise can also use its shell like a ballast, which means it pulls water into itself, and this makes its body heavy enough to withstand the recoil of its water cannons. It also allows it to absorb powerful attacks, or even crush its opponents. And here's a fun fact. Squirtle's long and curled tail is used as a center of balance for moves like Water Gun and Bubble Beam. The tail's weight allows Squirtle to squirt water and bubbles from its mouth with great accuracy. Isn't that neat? This episode is brought to you by Bill's PC. You can always count on Bill's PC and its Pokémon transfer service. It's the center for data and transfers in Kanto. All the data, all the time. All the data, all the time. It's time for a type versus type matchup. We're talking about Water-type Pokémon versus Fire-type Pokémon. And in this contest, Fire-type is all wet because Water-type has the competitive edge. And listen to this. Wartortle hides in water when hunting and emerges to surprise its prey. It's able to wait under the surface for extended periods of time because it traps and stores air in its fur. This sounds better than a snorkel. It's another location profile. We're talking about Viridian Forest, a deep and sprawling woodland between Viridian City and Pewter City. The trees in the forest have grown so dense that the light has trouble getting through. This murky environment is perfect for bug and bird-type Pokémon. There are even reports of wild Pikachu. Have you been to Viridian Forest? I have not. And here's something else. Shaky camera footage exists of a Blastoise using its water cannons to fly, and physicists have determined that the force of the cannons could be enough to propel and sustain a Blastoise in the air, as long as its shell is completely empty of water. But if the ballast is empty, where is it getting water for the cannons? If you ask me, this is a mystery for a Pokémon professor. What's that? Can you hear this? It's another trainer spotlight. Look both ways for bikers. These trainers love fire and poison type Pokémon. You might even encounter them on roadways or routes. Have you ever battled a biker? Before we wrap it up, several listeners have wondered if there's a way to contact our podcast with questions or comments. Well, there is. Send an email or have a parent send an email to leavingpallettown@protonmail.com. That's leavingpallettown@protonmail.com. And as a reminder, there are 2 L's and only 1 T in palette. If you're ever unsure, it's right there in our title. Thanks for thinking of us, and we look forward to hearing from you. And here we are. Some figures, more facts, and a laugh or two for good measure. I learned at least 3 new things. How about you? That's the end of another episode of Leaving Pallet Town, a Pokémon podcast. I think it could be our best one yet, but who's counting? I hope you enjoyed it, and now you're one step closer to being a Pokémon master. Until next time, keep it Geodudes. Stay tentacool. Take it slow, bro. I'm Anthony Curmudgeon. Thank you for listening, and we'll catch you later.